Hey guys, it's Robert from Redneck Brewing. Just got back from my business trip from Wisconsin and just wanted to give you another update on my cherry wheat. Today is day 33 since I brewed. I just kicked my keg. This is the last of my fire in the hole for more beer. Show that to you. I don't know if you can see it or not. Put a little bit of there we go. That's getting close. That cleared up mighty nice. If you liked a Irish Red Ale, this is actually an oaked and dry hopped Irish Red Ale. Wonderful kit. It's got a kind of a caramel flavor to it, and it's got, you can taste the French oak that I oaked it with. Good stuff. I want to give it a try. But here in just a few minutes, I'm going to be pulling my keg out of my kegerator. I'm going to be cleaning it up, and I want to share with you just real quick how I go about cleaning the kegs. It's my method. It works for me. It may not work for you, or it may work for you. So anyway, I'll show you my method. Show you one or two little things that I picked up along the way while I was in Wisconsin. I'm going to make another video going more in depth and show some footage that I took when I was at a couple different breweries. I went to 4 breweries while I was there. New Glarus, the home of the Spotted Cow. Oh my goodness, if you all ever get the opportunity to go to New Glarus, you have to go to New Glarus. Spotted Cow is the greatest beer on the face of planet Earth. They also had a cherry wheat, or excuse me, a cherry Belgian, it was Wisconsin Belgian red cherry tart. And I'm telling you, it was like drinking a Jolly Rancher. If you like kind of little tart Jolly Ranchers, oh my goodness, that was really good. But anyway, y'all stay there and bring along for the ride. Wisconsin Belgian red. That's what it is. Get this, you won't be sorry. Okay, before we go any further, I want to talk about how I have my CO2 set up. If you'll notice, I've only got one outlet, but sometimes, like right now, I need 2 different pressures. How do you accomplish that? Well, first thing that you need to notice, this is set on 20 psi. This ball valve right here has 20 psi on it, okay? Which is fine whenever I'm carbing, but what if I need to carb and do serving also? Well, I've got a solution for that. I actually built this manifold here with a plastic PVC tee on it. And then I put some tubing on it, and I went and got just standard pneumatic couplers for it. So to be able to split this off, all I have to do is unhook this small pigtail, hook up my tee, then I have a secondary, just standard pneumatic, regulator. Put it in series with it. So now, since I've hooked that up, now I have one ball valve at serving pressure and one ball valve at my carbing pressure. Now, when I get done carbing, all I got to do take the regulator out, connect the small pigtail, set my regulator down to my serving pressure, and now I have 2 ball locks at the same pressure, which is my serving pressure. I serve around 8 psi. Now, let me talk to you about my regulator for just a second. My regulator is not an actual beer regulator. I actually went to Harbor Freight and picked up this. I got it for $30. And what I did, I took the original gauge off here that measured flow rate. I went to Lowe's, picked up a standard PSI regulator, and got one adapter and adapted it to fit. And now I can tell what pressure is going out of this regulator. Very simple, very cheap, very easy to do yourself. Well, what I thought was me coming to the bottom of my keg was me not putting the ball lock on my keg well enough when I come back from Wisconsin. While I was gone, I actually disconnected the gas in case I did have a gas leak. I wouldn't lose a whole dang bottle of gas while I was gone when I couldn't check it. So anyway, there's more beer in here. I don't want to lose it, but I also want to keg my cherry wheat. I'm dying to try it. So what do? Well, I go back to my stash of bottles, which just happens to be an arrogant bastard. Then ABA will be happy. So anyway, I'm going to keg at least one, or bottle at least one bottle out of my keg. But I want to show you how I do it. I actually made this out of just some parts that I had lying around. This is just a piece of plastic tubing that I put a little stopper on, and I put a little piece of vinyl tubing on there, and I use picnic valves, as you can see. So all I gotta do is take my little picnic valve, push it into the vinyl like so. There you go. Put this into my bottle that I'm going to fill. Push this all the way down. This would be easier if I did it this way. Push this all the way down. I don't know if you can see it in there, but it's very close to the bottom. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to push or open the picnic valve, and it's going to fill this. And at some point it's going to stop filling because the pressure is going to be too great in here. And as you can see, I can just simply release the pressure as this bottle fills. Doing it this way, you're not going to have much of a head to worry about. Alright, there we go. There is a filled bottle. Still under pressure at the moment. There you go. So let me dig my cap out of the star sand. Release some of the pressure. There we go. I believe I still have at least one more bottle, so I'll have to run back and get another bomber. Make a mess. There. Same stuff. So put my cap on there. Cap that sucker and put that back in the back of my freezer or my kegerator and forget about it for a while. Well, today is just one of those days. I go to press the picnic valve onto the piece of vinyl tubing. Oh wait, you noticed. It's not attached to the rest of it. Ah! The funds of home brewing. Can't win. I guess I'm just going to have to drink the rest of the keg to make it better. That, my friends, is the bottom of it. So I didn't have that much to bottle anyway. I couldn't have filled up that bomber I had over here. So anyway, now for sure we are at the bottom. So, because I know that because It sucked up all the crap out of the bottom. Probably can't even drink all of that glass. Anyway, let's get to it. Okay, so I relieved the pressure out of my keg. I have rinsed it out just with water twice. But now I'm going to talk to you about how to clean this thing. Now, for years I've used PBW. PBW works great. It cleans very well, doesn't leave any type of residue behind. Works great. The only problem is a container about that big costs you about 10 bucks. So what a lot of other people do, and what I do, I go to a big retail store, starts with a W, you all know what I'm talking about, and buy this. OxyClean Free. Works great. The only problem is you need to make sure that you rinse it very, very well, or you will get a nasty residue inside of it. It's going to affect the taste of your beer. Now, this whole tub, this is 3 pounds. 3 pounds of this stuff. 3 pounds cost me $7, where a tub, I don't know, maybe a half a pound, maybe a half a pound. It's running me 10 of the PBW. Works great, just gotta rinse it once or twice more. So anyway, I'm gonna open this up. I'm gonna show you how much I use. I don't measure out any specific amounts. That's the scoop that comes with it. That's roughly how much I use. Take it, dump it in the keg. I'm gonna put roughly 2 to 2.5 gallons of water in there. I'm going to put just a little bit of CO2 pressure on it, just to put a little bit of pressure on that gasket so it's not going to leak. I'm going to roll it around 2 or 3 minutes, dump it out, rinse it out, and then I'll be back to you with the next step. One thing I forgot to mention in the clip before this was how I clean up my beer lines. It still has some beer left over from it from when we bottom out on the keg. So anyway, this has the OxyClean Free in it, and 2.5 gallons of water. Been shaking it for, you know, about 3 or 4 minutes. So anyway, I just tapped off or added back the CO2. Take that off. So now we have roughly 20 PSI on it. The exact PSI doesn't really matter. All we're going to do is just simply, if I can do it one-handed, turn that on and run some OxyClean free through there. Now, I am going to repeat this process whenever I do rinse this out. After I rinse it out the last time, I'll run all the water that I have in there to rinse it out for the last time back through this to make sure that I get all the OxyClean out of this line and I don't have any residue out of it. I'm also going to do the same thing whenever I run my Star Sand through it. The only difference is, instead of running it into the sink, I'm going to run it back into my Star Sand bucket. That's one tip if you don't know it. Make you up a big batch of Star Sand, put it in a reclosable container. I use a 5-gallon bucket, works great, and I just use it and put it back in there. Anyway, I'll see you in the next step. Alright, the next step, after you clean out all the OxyClean residue, after you've cleaned it, is taking these ball lock valves off and cleaning them. Now there's a little poppet in there, which I'll show you in a little bit, that we're going to have to take out of there. We're going to have to clean it. And there's also dip tubes, both on the gas side and on the liquid side. The liquid side goes all the way down to the bottom, so it's sucking the beer off the bottom. And the gas side has a little tube about that big. Now one of the things you need to know about these is, if you'll look right there, the gas side normally has something on the nipple to distinguish it. On this one, it has a little cut, a little slit cut out of it to distinguish it. On the other keg, the beer side is 6-sided, where the gas side is 12-sided, so you can distinguish it that way. Now, you will need a 7/8 open end or boxed in wrench to be able to take it off. I don't go that route. As most of you all know, I have artificial heart valve and I'm on blood thinners, and if I get cut, I bleed like a stuck hog. So I use this. This is an electric impact wrench. Use that to take it off. I know it's a little bit overkill, but I don't have to risk getting cut whenever I'm breaking those nuts. So anyway, let me get these changed out and I'll see you on the other side. As you can see, the ball lock nipples have been removed. This is the gas side. It has just a little itty bitty tube that runs down in it. This is the liquid side. This is the intake for the beer out. Drop that down in there. Got some star sand in it. Now here are the nipples themselves. As you can see, the poppets are stuck. So I've found, I take my mixer, do this, down through there. There's a little poppet that I was telling you about. And there's some star sand. Do that with the other one. Get through there. Alright. Okay, the last process, or last thing that we need to do whenever we're getting ready to put the keg back together. If you're going to keg, you have to get some keg lube. You are not going to get a proper seal, and you're going to lose a lot of gas, and or you don't be able to carbonate your beer because it can't hold pressure. This tube right here, I've used maybe half of it, and I've had it, I think, going on 3 years now. At least 2, if not 3. This tube, I think, was $6 or $7. Get yourself some of this. It makes a huge difference. All the rubber gaskets that you take off, this is the biggest one. This is the gasket for the lid of it. And then your poppets that I showed you before, you need to lubricate those really well. And anyway, after you clean it and star sand it, put your keg lube on there and put it all back together. That's my last step. Is just lubing all this up, putting the keg back together, and then we are going to fill it full of the cherry wheat. Anyway, I will see you in just a few minutes. Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. My cherry wheat is looking mighty fine. It is the clearest it has ever been. It's not a really good shot. But anyway, it's looking really great. There has been another change in the smell of it. As before, it kind of smelled like wine the last time that we looked at this. And I'm pleased to say that wine smell has gone away, and it now smells like ale again. I can start picking up on the hops again on it, so I'm happy about that. So I'm happy with how it's come out. Like I told you, I was going to add a little bit to the end of this about my business trip that I took. Not only did I go to Madison, Wisconsin, but I also went to Evansville, Indiana on this trip, and got to go to Carson's Brewery there in Evansville. Very good place. I've got several of their bottles that I've got left over. This is the only one that I could find easily. This is their Pagan Pale Ale. Really good pale ale. Has a nice citrus taste to it, but it's not an IPA. It's not overly citrusy, overly hoppy. I'm going to put up a picture here in just a second of the lady that I met there. She is heavily involved with the Evansville Homebrewers Association. And we got to talking about brewing, we got to talking about East Tennessee, we got to talking about a lot of things. And I got to tell her and show her some of my beers, some pictures I had on my phone and whatnot. And she gave me this, which I thought was really cool. I hope it can show up, or it will show up. This is for the Evansville Homebrewers Association. That's their crest and their cup. And I am now an honorary member of the Evansville Homebrewers Association. So I thought that was pretty cool. But anyway, thanks for coming along with me. Again, we are at day 33 after my brew day. And I'm going to be putting this back in my keezer. I'm going to put 20 pounds of CO2 on it for the next 2 days. After that, I'm going to let it sit at 8 psi, probably for 2 to 3 days to let it equalize. And then I'll bring you along for my first taste. I'm hoping I'm going to be very happy because I've got a lot of effort into this. So anyway, thanks again. I'll holler at you later.